Time to take a look at the weekly reset stuff for the 13th of June 2022 with Nightwave Elite Acts of kill 100 Xmas enemies and complete open one of each tier relic. That would be one Lith, one Meso, one Neo, one Axii. Obviously can't do that in one mission. Though that would be great. You start with Liths and it works its way up to Axii relics. Maybe one day. Probably not. Normal acts. Complete an Isolation Vault bounty in the Cambion Drift on Deimos. Complete 10 Syndicate missions. Complete 3 Sabotage missions. Complete 3 Extermination missions. And complete 3 Assassination missions. All in all, opening the relics is the only time consuming one because that you've got to do 4 missions. Oh, I guess the Syndicate one can take 10, but that basically means you can do it over 4 days if you've only got one Syndicate. As for offerings, the key is here to enter Nihil's Obelite to get a hold of the Vitrica, the weapon he has. It's the only way to get it, but you do need the Obelite to go with it. As for helmets, Sevagoth's is here, but that's about the newest one. Of course, Gauze's Mag Helmet is there as well. Auras, Rifle Amp can actually be pretty useful, plus 27% damage for rifles. Physique doesn't really get used that much. Neither does AMP Aura, that Corpus enemies have reduced accuracy. But Corrosive Projection is the one most people use because that lowers enemies' armor by 18%. There is Groll's Hobbler Floof, there is Groll's Thumper Floof, the Heck Desert Camo skin, the Dual Zoran Dagger Axe skin, the Dark Sword, this is the blueprint to build the actual Dark Sword, the Heat Sword blueprint, again the blueprint to build the actual melee weapon, and the Plink's Shock Camo skin blueprint. It's kind of insulting it says blueprint and you're not just buying the skin, but that's kind of how the alerts used to work. You would get the blueprints to build things, same as the helmets, they're actually the blueprints, not the built helmets. Augments, Purifying Flames, Fire Blast Augment for Ember, Focused Acceleration, plus 80% projectile speed for the Tetra, and the Singularity Absorb Augment for Nyx. This irks me. I only did Conclave stuff for events, and then they just decided they're not going to run them anymore. Where's the Snowball event, or the any kind of event that used to be ran in Conclave? Hasn't ran for years now, and the Snowball event in the winter time, won't lie, I do miss that. But taking a look at the Steel Path Honor store, and this week is a junk week. It's the Kit Gun Riven mod, and for the price of these, they're not worth it. It's always worth getting a Veiled Riven Cipher, because that will instantly unlock any Riven you have. As for have they changed anything since they did an update this week? No. Still no Ureli in action glyph. And no nothing new in here whatsoever, which is a damn shame because they really need to update this with more glyphs. Especially the inaction glyphs from, well, last year. All of them. None of them are here whatsoever, and they kind of need to be. Should be. Where are they? And I do say this every week, but one week I may actually get round to using some of these, but if you have Helminth's Invigoration segment, of course, these have changed as well. Yours will be different to what mine are, and to be fair, I've got the ability duration and parkour one way too often recently. I mean, ability strength, that could actually be pretty decent on Titania. Not to forget, it's every 10th augment. Invigoration, not augment. You will of course get a mutated invigoration that will allow you to then use that invigoration, any one of these you have, on whatever frame you have equipped at the time. So you could take ability strength and put it on frost, where it wouldn't really be much useful, to be fair. Ability duration and parkour velocity, that would go much better on frost than ability strength and energy regen rate. But with that, I think we'll leave this off here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.